Hello, DC Eric here, and today I'm going to show you how to install Android KitKat 4.4 on Virtualbox for Windows 8. So the first step we're going to do is download the Android operating system from the SourceForge website. So we'll go here, and you use the links at the bottom there that'll show you here. It'll also be in the description so you can get there faster. So the first thing you're going to want to do is download the Android x86 4.4 R1. That is the latest version. So just click on that and the download should begin. I already have it downloaded, so I do not need to download it. Okay, so the next part here is, again, the download will be available at the bottom and in the description. And next you're going to want to just choose the window host. If you're using other operating systems, you can use those as well. And this tutorial should maybe work for them as well. But we're going to be using the Windows version, so select x86 AMD64, and then after that start the installation for Virtualbox. I've done all that already, so I do not need to go through all this. Alright, so as soon as you get Virtualbox installed, you'll get to this magical screen here, and the next step you're going to want to do is go to the new, click on that, type in the name Android KitKat 4.4. The next step you're going to want to do is select the operating system type. This is important for the features that will be available, and of course it will be able to run on. Now of course you'll have to select 32-bit. It will not work on 64-bit operating systems, so this might have issues if you select Linux 64. So you're going to want to select Linux 32-bit, click next, and then over here type in 1024, and that will be pretty much the equivalent to 1 gig, or it is 1 gig. So just click next. And yes, we're going to create a virtual hard drive, so we're going to create, and we'll keep it at VDI, virtual disk image, and click next. Yes, dynamically allocated, and well, you can keep it at 8 gigabytes, 2 gigabytes, and even 1 gigabyte. 1 gigabyte might work. I'm just going to keep it what it is and create. Okay, so it's now available to use, but you'll have to install it to use it. So the next thing we're going to want to do is select that ISO that you downloaded. So right click on that and go to settings, go to storage, and go to the empty disk here, and then go all the way over here and select Android x86 4.4 R1 ISO. But it might not be available for you like that. The only reason why it is for me is because I've installed it a couple of times on here already. So what you're going to want to do is go to choose virtual CD, DVD disk file, and go to wherever you have downloaded it. Usually it's in the downloads folder. Type Android in the search bar at the top. I do have it downloaded twice. I accidentally downloaded it a second time. So just select any one of them really, and now it's available. So just press OK, double click on the operating system, and then the next step is to install Android 4.4 KitKat on Virtualbox. So we are at this screen here. Now you could use live CD if you want to, but again, I wouldn't do this tutorial if I wasn't going to install. So we're going to install and select that. That is the last one in the menu. Okay, so usually this is the hard part for everyone, but we got to create a partition. And all you got to do here is press enter. And you're going to want to go to new. And yes, it's primary. And you're going to want to keep it at this default size. Now if you're going to install it on a laptop or a 32-bit computer, you might want to select a different size, and remember you might have other partitions on your computer, so you have to worry about those too. You don't want to destroy your Windows boot or your other Linux operating system boot. So just press the enter button here for Virtualbox, and you're going to want to select bootable, and the next step here is to write. So press enter on write and type in yes, press enter, and after that we're just going to quit out of this, and that's it. Yeah, that's as simple as it gets to create a partition. Alright, so the next step here is you'll select the SDA1 Linux, that is the partition that you just made. So press enter on that. We are going to format in ext3, so select the one below do not format. Press enter and select yes for that, and here we go. Yes, you're going to want to install Grub as well. Just click yes for all three of the options that come up. And here we go, the installation for Android x86 starts for Virtualbox. It shouldn't take too long, and then we'll be on to the next step, which is pretty simple. So yeah, there's not much usage for Android on Virtualbox though, because Virtualbox doesn't support OpenGL, so you can't really use much of anything that has 3D effects to it, like gaming and maybe even graphic tools for Android. Alright, so we got to this screen here. It has successfully installed. So you're not going to want to run the Android operating system just yet. You're going to want to reboot the operating system. So we'll press OK. And the next step is pretty simple here. Go to devices at the top, CD, DVD devices, and you're going to want to unclick the Android ISO image. Alright, so that's that. And the next step here, we're going to want to close this operating system. Doing all these steps, you'll now be able to load from your installation that you just did. So double click that, and now you select the first one at the top. You don't need to use the other ones there. If you do not have the knowledge with debugging, then there's no real use for it. So just select the first one, and here we go. Once you see this screen, you have successfully installed Android on Virtualbox. And once we get through the next few steps here, there's only a few things that you'll be able to take advantage of here. The real advantage of doing this is really just to test the operating system. So if you prepare yourself for an Android telephone or an Android tablet, then this is the best way to get you started. Alright, so as you can see, my mouse is not inside the window here, and each and every time you boot the operating system, this is the step you gotta do. Go to Machine and click on Disable Mouse Integration. You can do that, or you can press Control-I and it does the same thing. Alright, so now the mouse is available to be used inside the operating system. And we're going to just select the English United States language. I'm just going to turn the volume down there a bit. Alright, so now it's getting ready to set up the operating system, get your desktop prepared, and get you prepared for the next steps to get you started with your Android operating system. Not really useful to be used once again for the Virtualbox version, but for test purposes, if this is what you want to do, then you'll have to go through all these steps. I probably will not be using this. I've installed this already a few times, and the only reason why I have it going through this now is just to give you guys the ability to want to select it. Alright, so now we're going to want to select the Wi-Fi. And why do you see nothing available? Because we're not using Wi-Fi. You're going to be using your local area connection, so just skip this. Skip anyway. Yeah, you're going to want to select your Google account. If you don't have one, then you select no, and then you'll be able to create one. I'm just going to use mine here, and I'll probably have to block this out so you guys don't see my stuff. Alright. Okay, so once this is completed here, once you put your username and password, all you're going to want to do is press the next button and agree to the Google Terms of Service and press OK. Now the signing in should take a little bit of time, maybe not too long. Okay, here we go. Now we've got the last few steps here. Here you can select your location depending on what you want here for Wi-Fi or other security purposes here, sorry. And or you back up your data to your Google account, I guess. Okay, I'm just going to select the arrow here. You can put your payment info in there if you want to use a credit card, debit, or redeem a card. You can do that within here, but again, it's not necessary if you can't do much with it on Virtualbox. Alright, so the current date is fine and the time is fine. Yes, it's pretty late for me, but this is what you have, the steps you have to take to do this. Alright, so you can choose the name and the last name you would like to use or personalize for some of your apps or your tablet. So we're just going to select that. I'm going to use my usual first name and last name. Alright, so we have now entered the desktop for Google Android KitKat 4.4. And as usual, you'll get a tutorial on how to use the desktop for first usage. I'm just going to press OK. Yeah, so you can organize, blah blah blah, just like you can on any other Android operating system. And of course, then we get to this screen here, and yes, you can customize your drawer just like you can again on other Android operating systems. Okay, so here is the one issue that people have had with previous emulations to Android operating system. The Play Store has never worked. Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of surprise here, but this surprise will be ruined once you find out you can't use really much of anything again with the slim features Virtualbox uses for this operating system. So just click that. Sorry, yeah, that was weird, that error there. Usually I don't see that. Okay, so now we are in the store, and yeah, like again, it used to crash within 5 seconds of running on previous emulations or previous versions of the OS. So you're just going to want to click the Play Store here, go to your apps if you've installed any before. I'm just going to select Flappy Fish here. Again, it's a Flappy Bird clone, and it should begin to install, and there you go. It is installing, and it'll only take a couple of seconds, and there you go. So there is one issue with this, with using Android on Virtualbox, and that is that some applications go into a vertical screen. Now, of course, you're not using a phone, so you can't turn your screen and the screen will go back to the way it was before. So I'm just going to use this as an example. So I'm going to click on Flashy, Flappy Fish, sorry. Sorry, I'm going to do it again. And this is what usually happens here. You're in a vertical screen. And you can't go back to normal. So what you're going to have to do is click down here. Sorry. And click the power button. And click OK. You can either use that or use the host key, which is Control and press I, and the mouse will come out of the operating system, and you can press X, and then you can select to power it off. And that's probably easier. So we're going to go back into the operating system again, and it will reset the desktop to the normal view. And then you can do everything that you were doing before. Just gotta wait for that a little bit. So one of the other things you have to do and worry about every time you boot up the operating system, I think I already told you this, is you have to click Disable Mouse Integration every time it boots up. So we're going to do that, and again you can either use the Control, which is the host key, and press I, and then you can do it's the same option as doing it with the machine button up there. Okay, so the next feature is YouTube, and now you can use YouTube on here if you want to, but again, there's not real much usage to that, considering you can use that on your operating system already. Okay, so I'm not going to watch too much of that. So yeah, the video works. I can't watch a copyrighted video, so I'm going to get the heck out of there. There you go. That's pretty much it. I don't know much of the best features for Android tablet or Android phone because I don't have one. So if there's anything that is useful for you that you'd like to try out, then give it a go. I don't know if the camera will work because that's emulated. So you might be able to select it through the devices at the top, but it's not going to work here. So that's pretty much it. If you like what you see and you want to give it a go, then yeah, there's not much of any features you could take advantage here because Virtualbox does not support OpenGL, so no 3D games, no graphic design programs, none of that. It's just the basics. You probably be able to do email, browse the web, and that is all you can. All of that you can do on your operating system already. So this is just a test for people who want to try out the operating system before they get a tablet or a phone. I hope you enjoyed watching this this video here. There's not much more I can show you. I hope you come back to watch another tutorial or gaming video which features me, DC Eric. Bye for now. We'll talk again. See you later.